Hey guys, and welcome back to Editing Cheap Cosplays. Today we're going to be working on Kaidö Shun from Saiki K, so let's jump into it. This costume was 25 quid on AliExpress, and as you can see, it's pretty decent considering for the price, but it is far too big on me, and I kind of need to rough it up and make it more Kaidö. One of the easiest ways you can make costumes of any price look amazing is to make them to fit you. So what we're going to be doing is taking in the shirt and taking in the jacket so that they fit a lot better to our body. Sizings are never one size fits all, and they're never going to be perfect, even if you get a custom sizing. Unless the person is there fitting it directly to you, it's not going to be perfect. But don't worry, I promise it is super easy, and I'm going to show you how in this video. Now we're going to put the t-shirt on inside out. This is so that when we mark where we're going to be sewing to take it in, all the stitch lines are going to be on the inside so we don't see them. And this just saves us the time of having to transfer the outside to the inside, if that makes sense. With pins in hand, I'm going to pinch the areas that I want it to sit at. So basically I am going, this bit is too big, I'm going to pinch it and pin where I would like the new sew line to be. Keep in mind you still need to be able to get this on and off, so don't make it too tight. Make sure you are taking your time with this. I decided that I was going to do one side, leaving room on the other side so that I can just mirror it when I take it off, but make sure you're not doing it all on one side because otherwise you'll end up with a crooked design. It does not have to be neat because once we have taken it off, I'm then going to move about the pins to make more of a coherent line that it will be easier to sew and look natural whilst still being the width, I guess, that I require. Folding it in half, I can then mirror the pin placement on that side to the other side so they are both even and lovely and symmetrical, and hopefully our buttons won't end up all dragged off to one side. With everything pinned, it's time to sew along where the pins are. Again, make sure you are taking your time with this. A stitch in time saves 9. Which means doing one stitch with care now will save you having to do 9 more stitches down the line to make up for your mistake. With one side sewn, I'm just going to do a quick try on to make sure that my arm can still fit in and that I like how it all sits. If you have done it too tight, you can always unpick it and re-sew. I'm just going to do the other side the exact same way, and then we're going to try it all on and see how it fits. Since it was inside out, we're just going to turn it the right way around. We're going to try it on and button it up and make sure it all fits in the areas that we want it to fit. If not, we're going to turn it inside out again, pin as needed, and then go back to the sewing. Easy. The before and the after. To get rid of some of the bulk, I'm going to get rid of some of these seams I no longer need. If you have something like an oval locker, you can finish these seams nicely, or you can do a simple zigzag stitch down the end. Honestly, I didn't do that because it's just a cheap cosplay. I'm probably only going to wear it a couple of times. So I just left my open frayed edges and kind of ran over them with a lighter, don't sue me. For curved sections like the armpit, I'm just going to snip into it to help give it some kind of range of movement. Now it's time for the jacket. Same rules apply, put it on inside out, and then we're going to start pinning. So there was quite a lot to take in on this jacket, so I'm just going to start at the waist because that's the largest area. I'm also going to pin one side, then pin the other, pin one side, then pin the other as I go in order to create a bit more symmetry. I will, however, still fold it in half and double check that it lines up when I'm done. As you can see, the inside of this jacket is lined. If you want to be neat, you can remove the lining in a section and then fold it back, sew along the edge, and then sew the lining back down. But I really could not be bothered to do that. It's the inside of the jacket, who's going to see it anyway. So we're just going to sew along the pinned line and hopefully level up the edges a little bit as well. Take it to the sewing machine and do the exact same thing you did with the t-shirt, but for the jacket. As I come to an edge, because I do not want there to be any overlap on the, I guess, the outline? I don't know what you'd call it. I'm just going to make sure that they are lined up and touching as I sew over them. When I did my test fit, I noticed I had sewed the arm far too tight, so we're going to go in, unpick that, and re-stitch it. Much better, my fingers are not turning blue. I can now do the other side to match. Here's another before and after for you. Don't forget to trim and finish those seams. Kaidö's shirt is actually really tatty, so we're gonna tatty this shirt up, which is gonna be really fun. I'm gonna take our fabric scissors and we're gonna start chopping away at this colour, very tatty, pulling at the seams and being careful not to cut our thumb, which I definitely did not do.
It definitely needs stitches, but the show must go on.
I'm fine now, guys, I promise. This was a few months ago, but it did bleed for like a solid hour.
Time to cut those sleeves like a madman, let's go!
Seriously, what is this face? I was so invested. It's like I didn't learn my lesson from cutting my thumb at all. But the sleeves and the bottom of the shirt were much easier to tatty up because they weren't as stiff as the collar. When finished, your floor will look something like this, so let's be tidy and brush it all up and stick it in a bin bag. You know when after cutting your thumb open you think what else could go wrong? The Hoover battery died. The final thing I'm going to do for this cosplay is give it some pockets in the trousers, and this is because I'm taking it to a con and I want somewhere safe to keep my phone and money without having to carry it back with me. I like my pockets to be zipped because I have a habit of dropping everything out of them, so I'm going to use the length of the zip to measure out the pocket and just draw a rough shape basically that I've seen on pocket patterns, and I just go, that looks about right, and I'll do that. A good method I found is to put what you want to put in the pocket over the pattern and see if it fits, and then if it does, then it's probably gonna fit. This isn't a tutorial on adding pockets to your cosplay, but if it's something you're interested in, then I can look into doing a tutorial like that in the future, but there are also loads of videos out there on how to add zip pockets to things. But a very quick rundown is I unpick the seam at the edge for the length of the pocket, put the pocket on one side with one part of the zip, put the pocket on the other side with the other part of the zip, and then sew it all together. And with that, we have made a very cheap costume look so much better, look a lot more in character. There are so many different ways you can do this, guys, but honestly, the biggest thing I can recommend if you're going to do anything is taking it in to fit you. Now go dance the cha-cha slide with your friends at cons, have fun, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye, guys.
Oh my god, it's Saiki. Oh my god. Don't look. Do you think he wants to be my friend? Oh my god, I should ask. Oh my god. Maybe he'll be your boyfriend. Oh my god.